We'll have an amazing follow-up here, speaker, Dr. Tali Rezun, and he's going to talk about communication, and especially a topic I think which is interesting to everybody: the road to privacy and Web3 on-chain communication, which is been happening and becoming more popular in the last years. Dr. Tali Rezun, and I'm going to call you Tali, has an amazing background. He's a blockchain expert, researcher, a lecturer. He has started several ventures. His entrepreneurial career started already when he was 18, and organically has grown over the last years. He has a master and an MBA in business, speaks on technology, brand awareness, web applications, and he is the head of two ventures, Web3 ventures, blockchain, Block Labs, and Force Tech. And he's also lecturing at the business school in Kotkoli and speaks at Adriano. So amazing CV. Thank you for joining in, Tali. And I hope you have already the rights to share whatever you want to share. I'll give you the mic here so that you can really share your precious insight and knowledge with us here.
Thanks, Unit Network, for the kind invite and for the kind introduction. Let me try to share the screen here. Okay, I think we have it.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me share my story and what led me to this moment in time. I was always tech savvy and entrepreneurial by nature. To connect to Thorn before me, in 1997, I built the first digital audio recording studio, which was something very strange back in the days when everybody recorded analog. I managed to build it into one of the biggest record and production houses in the region. We were later totally hammered by the MP3, but those were some fun times. In the early 2000s, I was focused on HTML and Google SEO, which later evolved into Online Guerrilla, which is a full stack online brand exposure agency operating since. In 2010, I co-founded an HR company that we expanded into 6 countries, employing over 1,200 people, and later in 2018 made a successful exit. But going back to 2017, when I wanted to find a secure data exchange solution for cross-border communication between our offices, we were dealing with sensitive employee data, and email was just not an option. So you would be amazed by the lack of secure and private data exchange services out there. So at the time, I was introduced to blockchain technology, and in a couple of months, I was totally hooked. I met Denis, our lead coder, back in the late 2017. We launched our first wallet-to-wallet data file exchange protocol in April 2018 on the Ethereum mainnet. And from that time on, I dedicated my full time to private and secure on-chain communication R&D. Finished my MBA in 2012, later my doctorate in 2018. I'm also engaged as a guest lecturer on the Kutruli MBA program, Blockchain Adria resident speaker, and a UNC Fact blockchain expert. I'm also one of the founders of the Blockchain Recorded podcast, which is now running for the 2nd season. So the internet changed the way we live. Okay, it opened the highway to unlimited communication and revolutionized access to information. But as far as I see, it failed greatly in regards to our digital freedom and privacy. So whenever we speak about privacy, we consider it a topic important to us. We give away our privacy on a daily basis. And as the saying goes, if you're not paying for the product, then sadly, you are the product. So securing your digital communication should be your highest priority when going online. There are just too many threats to trust any company with your private data. Companies don't care if they expose your digital life to harassment, scammers, fraud, data mining advertisers, and similar. So blockchain has always offered the promise of enabling private, immutable wallet-to-wallet communication while retaining data and identity ownership. It is by design the perfect privacy tool. However, it could never really take off due to early generation blockchain scalability, slow time to finality, and cost constraints. But there are also other challenges to consider. I think that the main challenge after establishing a low-cost scalable infrastructure goes to finding appropriate use cases. There's also a challenge of user migration from now free but not private Web2 communication platforms to payable but private Web3 infrastructure. I believe that with innovative incentive onboarding models and the coming Web3 mobile technology, this barrier could be overcome. I also believe that with the rise of privacy awareness and Web3 adoption in general, the on-chain wallet-to-wallet email or messaging could become the dominant communication, and as such will be the future of private online communication. The privacy and security native to Web3 are just too good to be overlooked. So ForTech is the Block Labs project that develops Web3 wallet-to-wallet communication infrastructure. So when you think about ForTech and what value it delivers, it really is quite straightforward. There are two major value propositions. So number one is on the product side. We released quite some products over the years, such as the Web3 email and the on-chain chat that enables users to utilize the blockchain to exchange emails, messages, or data from wallet to wallet in a safe and private way. So basically, we are utilizing blockchain to enable privacy in online communication, which is now basically non-existing in traditional applications. So the value proposition number two is more behind the scenes and is probably, by my guess, more important, with solutions such as the SDK framework that enables any project to integrate the dMail and the dChat layers into their platform, UIs, or wallets, or the X509 digital identity on-ramping to Web3, where we develop a system that enables users to connect their X509 digital identities with blockchain wallets, verifying them at the same time. It's an important step towards on-chain identification, data notarization, and similar, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we spent the last 4 years developing the ForTech foundations, which are built around privacy and ecosystem integrations. Privacy by design was our guiding approach when building ForTech. That simply means that we put the consideration of how we could preserve privacy, guarantee protection, obfuscate metadata to the largest possible degree at the forefront of all our architectural decisions. So at the same time, no personal data whatsoever is collected by ForTech. We were able to build multi-chain framework that is Ethereum, Polkadot, and Solana interoperable and enables on-chain email and messaging that is private, secure, censorship resistant, and immutable. So an ecosystem can only thrive when solutions are not built in isolation. We have our own UI for the dMail and the dChat, but we see the maximum potential in ecosystem-wide adoption. So any supported blockchain network app that is looking to include wallet-to-wallet communication features will be able to integrate the email and chat functionalities into their platform via our white labels or SDKs. So with massive communities emerging surrounding popular DeFi, NFT, gaming, and DAO platforms, I think that the need for social communication is increasing. In regards to social interaction, messaging is, of course, at the top of the list. But in a decentralized ecosystem, you also need a decentralized email and messaging solution. So Web3 wallet-to-wallet communication opens a whole new chapter in social interaction that is just not possible with the current framework. We will dive into the topic a little bit later when we go over the solution-specific features. So our R&D here took us in 3 different directions. ForTech already enables UI white label, dMail, and dChat, so partner projects can already enable social communication within their communities. But a dedicated SDK framework will enable direct UI integration, so partner projects communities will be able to communicate within their favorite UIs or wallets. We are also working on a standalone desktop app that would enable privacy-sensitive users to send or receive end-to-end encrypted emails via an underlying blockchain network using their existing traditional email client apps such as Microsoft Outlook or Apple Mail.
Well, this is amazing, Tali, what I'm hearing here. So this really like lets my heart beat faster when I'm like seeing what you're doing. I had no clue. Really looking forward for the next slides here.
Yeah, thanks. Although our primary focus on privacy, security, and censorship resistance of emails and messaging, we don't want to neglect the UI or UX aspect of giving our users a great experience using the chat or the email, which would have a similar look and feel like their traditional, let's say, favorite email or messaging apps, but of course with crypto-specific features. So on the product side, I would like to emphasize the private end-to-end encrypted email, private and group chat, end-to-end encrypted curated chat groups with which we can offer a Web3 community communication framework alternative, the current Web2 centralized services, exchanging media and data files through from wallet to wallet, token and NFT message transactions, NFT profiles, emojis, naming service integration, and so on. So on the tech side, I want to point out end-to-end encrypted on-chain wallet-to-wallet communication, encrypted group messaging, MetaMask integration or native wallets interoperability, depending on which chain we are talking about, SDK and white labeling, decentralized storage. And on the private side, we can touch on end-to-end AES encryption. There's no sign-up or personal information needed, no ads, no tracking, no data mining, no danger of identity theft or email spoofing. So we spent over 4 years now developing the, let's say, multi-chain communication building blocks, which are deployed and tested on various layer ones, mainnets, testnets, and so on. So as time passed, some of the chosen layer ones did not pan out due to extreme transaction fees and scalability issues. We are searching for the perfect fit in regards to network decentralization, performance, transaction costs, transaction finality. Here is where we really learned the crucial importance of blockchain's stability and scaling. Everybody's always talking about the scalability and here and there, but this is where we learned our lesson. So there was quite some experimental Web3 development done from 2018 to 2020. For example, we developed the on-chain data notarization for the EU Commission grant program, and the connection option between the X509 identity certificate and on-chain wallet address. Both developments led to new extremely useful use cases. So we developed an X509 to Web3 ID protocol that can provide wallet address verification by creating a link between an X509 user's online identity and blockchain wallet address. For those of you who are not familiar with the standard, the X509 digital certificate standard is widely supported across Europe and the world and can be used for online banking, data encryption, notarization of signed data, digital signatures, basically for all online ID related tasks. This was launched before Web3. This was launched, I think, in the early 2000s. It's an old protocol, but it works. So if used together, both the X509 to Web3 ID protocol and the decentralized notary that we also developed, we can start getting some really useful use cases. Just to clarify here, there are 3 main parts to data notarization process. There's the verified identity, of course, the data source or origin confirmation, and the timestamp. So we can verify the on-chain identity with our X509 to Web3 protocol, while our on-chain dNotary protocol provides origin data verification using the file checksum method while it gets the timestamp from the blockchain itself. So this is something that was seemed like important to mention. So opposite to permissionless identity used by end users in a decentralized Web3 environment, organization need a connection between off-chain and on-chain identity. So this is where X509 to Web3 ID protocol comes in handy, because when blockchain technology will go mainstream, organizations will need to be able to identify the users. So this could be one of the ways to do it, as the X509 is already an established online identity supported by the EU and the world states. So let me just add that our X509 to Web3 ID protocol is Ethereum Polkadot interoperable. So as far as deployments goes, to establish the standard for wallet-to-wallet on-chain communication infrastructure, our smart contracts will need to be deployed on all suitable major chains, so we can enable seamless and permissionless SDK integration for any Web3 project that wants to integrate a dMail or dChat layers, so no matter what its native chain is. Here's a slide showcasing the dChat architecture. Without going into too many details, let's just say that we wanted to design the architecture to be as lightweighted as possible. This means that we wanted to keep all our user communication on-chain. The message history and archives are kept on local storage, and by user choice can be synchronized on decentralized storage. So only the party with access to his private messaging data is the user himself. So users have full control over their messaging data, which are all end-to-end encrypted. Every wallet becomes your on-chain identity and data vault that only you control. So the messaging app is completely immutable and censorship resistant. So this is the model framework that guarantees privacy, but at the same time, like I explained before, it demands a stable, scalable, low-cost blockchain to be able to process so many transactions, because for this model to work, every message requires its own transaction. Okay, so where are we now? What are the development milestones ahead to reach a state where end users will be able to communicate on-chain privately and exchange their data while retaining ownership? When will Web3 projects enable their communities to use decentralized communication instead of relying on Web2 centralized platforms? So these are the questions that we tackle with. We already enable users to use the dMail or dChat via Fortech UI that is currently compatible with a dedicated Fortech wallet. Users can already choose between Ethereum, C-Chain, Edgeware, and Solana, but our goal is to enable the dMail and dChat as a multi-chain standard available via various UIs or SDKs. So what are the development milestones ahead to reach that state? Q3 this year will be quite busy for us, as we are deploying the elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol integration that will enable major wallet interoperability, such as MetaMask or other wallets. In Q3, we're also deploying the EVM dChat smart contract and the SDK framework. Q4 is dedicated to group chat and decentralized storage. Let me just clarify here that end-to-end encrypted group messaging was always difficult to achieve. So this goes for Web2 and especially for Web3. So developing the tech to support on-chain end-to-end encrypted group messaging was a challenge in itself. We solve it by random generation of the secret key that is used to encrypt or decrypt messages. So the secret key is distributed to all group members and separately encrypted with advanced encryption standard over the elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol. So this opens the whole new chapter in Web3 on-chain communication and could easily disrupt current centralized community messaging platforms. So the beginning of the next year will be dedicated to protocol deployment, to establish the standard for wallet-to-wallet on-chain communication infrastructure. Our smart contracts need to be deployed on all major chains, of course, when it's possible, so we can enable seamless and permissionless SDK integration. There are quite some development in the pipeline for passion projects, such as broadcasting Web3 dMail to CMTP client, mobile app, desktop apps, and so on. So I met Denis in November 2017. Andre joined us early 2018. Peter joined us in the early 2020, made a great addition, as do all the core team members. We have been working together, focused for over 4 years now. We have created over 400 pages of technical documentation, written numerous research papers, published over 50 articles covering Web3 communication, data exchange, on-chain privacy, and so on. We also participated in the UNEC chain white paper, where our tech is one of the 5 use cases presented. So what we learned so far? We learned that blockchain has the ability to enable privacy, immutable wallet-to-wallet communication, while at the same time it can retain data and identity ownership. And we learned that, in fact, it is by design the perfect privacy tool. We learned that due to stability and scalability issues, early generation blockchains could not sustain the on-chain communication infrastructure. We know that user migration from free, not private Web2 communication platforms to payable but private Web3 infrastructure will be challenging. And we are searching for new incentive onboarding models and applicable use cases.
Cool.
Yeah. So to conclude, after nearly 5 years of R&D solving the privacy and security in online communication, I would say that technologically speaking, we are going in the right direction. The challenge cannot be solved overnight. I'm recognizing new possibilities surrounding new generation application-specific blockchains that are emerging, that were just not available back in 2018.
Yes, I can see your vision. I can see your vision of really mass application, because you're talking every mobile phone on the planet, right? Yeah. Right. So this is a massive vision you're having here. What's, in your eyes, the major roadblock for this mass adoption of blockchain communication?
Yeah, it's quite simple. Like I explained, it's stable, low-cost, scalable blockchain infrastructure. Okay, that's the first thing, and then there's adoption challenges. Like I explained before, these are the things that, and it's a mindset, of course. You know, it's a mind. We are so embedded in this free messaging communication that we just do not think about what we are giving away. Huh? Okay, so yeah.
So really adoption. Cool. Like Tali, amazing talk. You really inspired me here.
Thanks, Unit Network, for the kind invite.